Okay, so welcome to the review of the brand new Chronarch MGL, and I'm going to be going over the differences between the new MGL versus the reel that it replaced, which was the Chronarch CI4. So instead of just going down and reading off the box of the features, I wrote down a list of all the things that are different between the two reels. Now the first thing that you notice is, I don't know if you can tell, but the body color is a little bit darker, a little bit more gunmetal pewter color on MGL, and they got rid of the red accents like on the cast control knob and the spool. They're now black. You can see it says MGL. Okay, and the second thing is the knobs are a little bit smaller. I don't know if you can tell. And the end caps are now chrome and actually much nicer looking. The end caps on the Chronarch CI4 kind of plain Jane. Not something that you would expect from a $270 reel. Now the third thing is actually the frame material. Now Shimano didn't give any kind of a fancy acronym like CI4 plus for the frame material, but they did say that it is a stronger, stiffer composite material. So it's not aluminum, it's still a carbon composite. They just did not name it CI4 plus or actually give it a name at all. But the side plates are CI4 plus material. Alright, so the third thing is they included the micro module gears. As you can see the symbol there for micro module. Okay, so I popped the spools out, and let's turn this scale on and see how much they weigh. Okay. So first up is the Chronarch CI4 spool. According to the scale, it is 14.6 grams, which is fairly light. Now let's see what the MGL spool weighs. If it'll stay still. Come on, you piece of crap. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it says 13.6 grams, so it's 1 gram lighter. So that should mean that it should cast a little farther on paper, and it should cast lighter baits a little bit better since it's an overall lighter spool. And another difference is the new braking system. Now you can see that the overall assembly of the new brakes is smaller, there's less material, and it's got new brake shoes. So I think that helped contribute to the MGL spool being lighter. And the way that Shimano designed these new brakes is basically they want you to keep all four on and just use the external dial to make adjustments, because they have a chart which I will show you that shows that these brake shoes give far less braking force than the old brake shoes. In fact, it says that with 4 brakes on, with these new brakes, it equals roughly a little bit less than 2 brakes on for the old brakes. Okay. So the seventh thing that is different is they've offered a extra high gear ratio, which I have, which is 8.1 to 1. Now with extra high gear ratio, you get a 96 millimeter black handle, which is basically the same handle as the metanium MGL XG model. And it also comes in, the new MGL has 3 ratios now instead of just 2. The old CI4 had only, I believe, 6.2, and then this 7.6 high gear option. And the handles on both were only 84 millimeters. Now, if you get the new, the lower gear ratios in the MGL, they come with 90 millimeter handles. Alright, so let me pop these spools back in. Okay, so the 8th thing that's different is the MGL lists a bearing count of 8 plus 1 roller bearing. Now, there's no bearing on the spool, so I don't know where that extra bearing was put on the MGL. Now, the Chronarch had 7 bearings and 1 roller bearing. So 7 plus 1, I should say. Both of them only have 1 bearing in the knobs, 1 bearing in a bushing. Of course, both have X-ship, so I don't know where that extra bearing went if they didn't put it on the spool. So I'll have to scale out. Let me weigh these things to see if there's a difference in the weight. Okay, let me flip it to ounces there, and let's throw this on here. I don't know if you can see that, but the Chronarch CI4 weighs in at 6.493, so roughly 6.5 ounces, which is exactly what Shimano advertised that it weighed. Alright, so let's see what this brand new MGL weighs. Now, it does, of course, have a longer handle, a much longer handle, so let me zoom out there. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. It's shifting between 6.6 and 6.59 ounces, so it's 1/10 of an ounce heavier, which is probably attributed to the extra long handle, which is 12 millimeters. It's almost half an inch longer. So a couple of other things that you'll notice is, I don't know if you can, I hope you can hear, but when you turn the click on the CI4, it's kind of got this plasticky click sound. Now, I don't know if they did it on purpose or if it's just my particular model, but the clicks on the Chronarch MGL seem a little more refined and more metallic. Hope you can hear it. And there doesn't seem to be as much of a gap in between clicks. Could be just me, but the external dial click does seem to be more refined on the MGL. Now, the last thing that is different is they raised the price on the MGL. MGL is $10 more than the Chronarch CI4. The Chronarch was, I believe, $269, and the MGL is $279. So all these changes and hopefully improvements, and they've only raised the price by $10, which is pretty good. Okay, so now that we went over the differences, let's go over what's the same. Basically, the only thing that's really the same is the body. Not the material, but the entire body and side plates are exactly the same. They're just made, the main frame is made from a different material. But other than that, that's what's the same about these two reels. Okay, so the great million-dollar question is it worth upgrading your existing Chronarch CI4s to get the new MGL with the MGL spool, the micro module gears, and the new braking system? Now, on paper, Shimano says the MGL spool is lighter and it casts farther because it requires less force to get the spool inertia moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it on the field, put it through some casting tests, actually get them on the water as well, throw some baits, see if there's any kind of real world difference. So be on the lookout for that. And just hit like, subscribe, tell all your fishing friends and your non-fishing friends to give my channel a view, and hopefully you'll help me grow and we can put out more informative videos that'll help you guys know how to spend your money wisely. Okay, thank you.